Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. JC here with another video on Action Taimanin. Today we're gonna do another Let's Play after Renewal, and this time is going to be for Shizuru, because she is very different from what she used to be. But before we start, don't forget to leave a like, share and subscribe if you need the content. So the first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna check the changes that she experienced. So starting with the leader skill. Now she has a leader skill, and not only does she has a leader skill, the way her unique buff works change, and that's going to be extremely important. So over here we have Seed Bomb. Seed Bomb reduces speed and defense. Previously it was only speed. So reduces speed and defense for 6 seconds, then explodes after 6 seconds, dealing AoE damage. It is not damage on the target, but rather AoE, which is really important. Now that we know how the debuff works, we gotta know what the leader skill is going to do. So, Bloom drops a rose that grants 1 out of 5 of the following effects when enemy marked with Seed Bomb is eliminated or the duration of Seed Bombs ends. So, Rose effects, yeah. HP restoration, particle charge, attack increase, speed increase, and super armor. I don't know exactly which color is which. There's red, there's blue, there's green, there's purple. I don't know the last one, but there's a bunch of roses. So that's pretty nice. Shizuru was already a supporter for high DPS teams, and now she's gonna perform even better. I was really worried that Gremory was going to shift her focus and was going to make her a blue character. Previously she was only a red character, and now she is red or blue. That's a good thing. Unfortunately they didn't fix green, which is a shame, but well, let's start by checking the changes. So I go over the news. You cannot see it, but here on the news we have this one. So the visual effect and animations, area effect, and the damage of some skills have changed. Yeah, you're gonna notice that even though they don't mention all the different buffs that they made, it is clear that the AoE of some attacks is very different. For example, this one has changed. The AoE is different. It is bigger, and that's really good. Unfortunately, the DPS on this skill is pretty low. When you do multiple attacks and the duration is long, you have to have a lot of damage to justify doing a long change of combos to deal damage. So this one is not the greatest, but it's usable for wave clearing. Unfortunately, it has a stiff competition. So you're not gonna use this, trust me. Even though you can, you're probably not. Then let's see. A unique skill has been added, the leader skill, yeah. Then unique debuff for Shizuru has been changed, the thing that we mentioned right at the beginning. And now the skill changes. The effect and slot effect of the skill Whip Shot has been partially changed. So let's go to Whip Shot over here. So previously it said basic effect, performs an area attack by cracking her whip in circles. Now it says swings and a whip in a cone shape towards the front, delivering an area attack and inflicting Seed Bomb into the enemy. That's what I like. Previously the Seed Bomb was an effect on the blue set effects. Now it's not. I mean, it's on one set effect, but honestly it's important that now it's part of the skills itself, which means you can use the leader skill on any color. I love that they did that. It's really good. And obviously, if before we got Seed Bomb with the set effect, now they got to change that. So Let me continue. So, protect main blue. Plant a seed bomb on the target. Now, reduces the speed of the enemy hit by 10% for 10 seconds. I gotta admit, you just use a whatever filler here, but at least that filler is cohesive, because you're planting a seed bomb and the seed bomb is going to reduce the speed of the enemy. And you further reduce the speed of the enemy with a different buff. That's, at the very least, cohesive. I like that. Not to mention the fact that now we can inflict seed bomb with any color. I also like that part. As I mentioned, I was extremely worried that they might only buff blue and the leader skill would only work on blue. Let's hope that they never do that again. They need to learn about what they did with Francis. So, what else do we have here? So, whip shot and the next one. Wait a second, guys. Yeah, this one. The command for the skill Queen's Whip has been changed. Queen's Whip. Did it change? I gotta check. It says that the command changed, and if that's the case, I am pretty sure that we were never able to use these two at the same time. Maybe I'm wrong because I haven't used green in a while. But if they intentionally change it so that we cannot use these two together, that sucks. Honestly, it's really annoying. I think that this has always been the case. Let me check. The command for the skill Queen Wisp has changed. It doesn't change for what, but honestly, as far as I know, this hasn't changed, and we have never been able to use these two together. Or maybe I'm wrong, you let me know, but it is awful that we can, because you really want this damage increase. You want it. And you cannot pair it with Queen Sweep. That's, as far as I remember, a glaring weakness that these two skills have had for the longest time. And due to the animation, I understand why they use the same command, but it really bugs me that that's the case. Honestly, let's see. I would have changed it to a hold attack, just so that we're able to whip shot and then Queen Sweep. That would have increased the effectiveness of this skill, because God is this the weakest. So let's see what else. The effect of the skill Sprout Garden has changed. Yeah, Sprout Garden is slightly better. They just did a change taking into consideration the leader skill. It's not that they buff this too much. So it says, when doing an extreme dodge, creates a field that reduces enemies' speed and restores HP over time. That was the original effect, but now, when doing an extreme dodge, slows enemies down, dropping 2 roses and deploys a healing field that restores HP over time. So basically they just added 2 roses, the ones that you get from the leaders here. We can see them over here actually. So yeah, that's pretty useful. I like it because it gives value to this skill. You don't need it anymore because some of the roses are going to heal you. If you abuse the roses, you don't need the healing area. But just because this also gives roses, it is good enough. Even though you don't apply the seed bomb. In fact, it's okay if you don't. Anyways, let's see. Next we have... Let me check. The effect and slot effect of the skill Plant Wall has partially changed. Yeah, they actually changed this, and now it's appealing to use. I love that this is the case. And the animation looks better with those thorns in the middle. So, basic effect. The original was creates a wall of thorns that spines at the spot. I didn't know that spine was a verb. That spines at the spot and continuously attacks enemies. creates a wall of moving thorns on the spot, which performs consecutive attacks. Enemies hit by them are inflicted with Seed Bomb. Oh, marvelous, marvelous, yeah. Why is it good? Because all the enemies that get hit by this are gonna be inflicted with Seed Bomb. That's nice. It's not only for the enemy that you counter, it's anything that gets into contact with the thorns, and that's amazing. Pretty good. But that's not the only change. So previously, let me check. Plant wall basic effect. Previously, blue was plant a Seed Bomb onto the target, but now it reduces the speed of the enemy hit by 20% for 10 seconds. Again, cohesive. I like that. And it's 20. It is big. It is significant. It is worth using. So, yeah. The animation of most things have changed. But some of the weaknesses, mainly on green, are still there. And again, it is a missed opportunity. Like, I like the attack pattern of this. I like the AoE, but the only issue is that it's mid-air, and you're not hitting most of the enemies mid-air. So they really should have changed the launching attack. Like, nowadays, launching attacks are not used. This was just a missed opportunity. And also they should have fixed green by giving it a niche. I guess it's too much to ask to give two colors different niches on the reworks. They usually focus on one color, or usually just focusing on fixing one color when they do the reworks, or fixing glaring weaknesses by applying new buffs or debuffs, like in the case of Oboro, allowing her to use mind control. So yeah. Oh, whoa. So, is this character good? I mean, she was already good to begin with, so yeah, she's gonna be good. But let's test her. Unfortunately, due to Total War, I don't have that much space in the presets, but I already have the weapons that I'm gonna use. I'm gonna use the Eye of Dawn, which is only going to enhance Rose Rondo, and I'm not using Rose Rondo on most of my builds. It is 5 out of 5 plus 15. This one 5 out of 5 plus 14. Whatever Magatemas on the subslot. Critical damage increase Magatemas on the subslot, whatever element, as you can see. And let's go with green, which is the worst. So I am going to go disgustingly aggressive. Let's see. So damage increase on melee. Not this one. This one. And do I need? No, I don't need. Since I'm going with crit Magatemas, I don't need the Suruga. In that case, I can just equip this one. Yeah. That's fine. So, most of her attacks are gonna be melee. Only a handful are gonna be range, but from those, Plant Wall is extremely important. We didn't mention Planting Bathe. Planting Bathe was it not on the list? It's not on the list of abilities changed, and this is one of the abilities that changed the most. Yeah, honestly, I don't know why, but they didn't mention some changes. For example, well, they say that, I guess because they didn't change the effects, but the animation is completely different. You see, before it was just a line. This is like 3 wheels doing a ton of damage. And before it was just a straight line. But if you do set effect 2, it adds other 2 clusters, and it's going to be an absurd AoE. Absurd. You clear waves instantly with this. instantly-ish because it's slow, but as long as you're in front of the enemy, they're dead. So, anyways, let's start with green, because green is the most limited of the sets, in the sense that there's not that many options. Because we never use launcher attacks. Weak grip and chasing strike are not good on PvE. You might use them on PvP, yeah, especially because of the long range and the stun/groggy. But other than that, you don't use it. Whip shot we are unable to use because of the same command issue. I swear to God that I think this is exactly the same, and they said that Queen's Whip changed commands, but I don't see it. I don't see it. And, well, the basic enhancer is there if you want it, but honestly it's not like super amazing. The AoE is usable at most. So, the only 3 real skills that you use on green are gonna be Queen's Whip, Sprout Garden, and Plant Wall. Yeah, we'll start with the weakest one just to get this out of the way. At the least, what we have here is a little bit of defensive capabilities with the ability to apply seed bombs, and roses with these 2 skills, and HP recovery and damage. But look at this, I'm going extremely aggressive, and since I am going to take hits because I'm using Plantwell, I'm using Francis because she has the ability to reduce cooldowns by getting hit. So effects that activate when you're hit are okay when using Plantwell. So let's just destroy everything. Yeah, honestly, it is... you see? They are still alive, and I have a ton of damage. That shouldn't be the case. Yeah, that's my issue with green. That it doesn't have enough damage. Yeah, just... it has a great AoE, honestly. It is not the best, but it is pretty good. Unfortunately, the damage is not enough on green. Let's see. I want those particles, because purple is particles. Hey, Edwin. Okay, I guess. Why not? I'm gonna be locked in place, so whatever. Yeah, you see how little damage I do? I'll use my ultimate just to clear this faster. And trust me, my supporters are not bad. I do have a great amount of damage. But this is supposed to be a wave clearing skill. That's why it doesn't deal the most damage. But even so, it takes too long. The longer a skill takes to deal all its damage, the worse it is. Because depending on the situation, you might get interrupted. And that means that you didn't do all the damage. I mean, she has super armor, sure, but you could also get debuffed with something that stops you. And you don't want that. Yeah, I actually might be in trouble at some point because of the number of enemies and well, I think I'm fine-ish. Oh, come on, let me... You see how I did double Sprout Garden thanks to the cooldown reset? Yeah, that's why that limited supporter is useful. The good thing about her is that now she's able to do ultimates way faster. It's kind of a shame, but at the same time, the weapon that they give her is pretty good. We're gonna check the weapon at the very end, because I only have the 2 copies and I don't have it with the enchantment or anything. So yeah, we're not gonna check the effect just right now, but we're gonna check it nonetheless. So now let's go with the new color, the one that you want to know about, blue. Blue is actually pretty decent. And what you're gonna do basically is go with plant wall, whip shot, and planting bait. Solo or with friends, on a team, this is actually pretty good. So you can equip whatever, but if you go solo, you can use pretty easily Kurenai, but at the same time you might not. Why not? Because you don't want to heal yourself. You're gonna have the ability to heal yourself just cause. So instead of using Kurenai, I'm going to go with Anna Rose over here, and I'm gonna go with actually Shizuru doesn't have a bunch of targets that you can use. Like there's the big three, but I am facing a stage with multiple enemies, so the big three do not work here. So what can I use? I wonder. Can I? The problem is that you're relying only on the roses to get the buffs from Kana, which is not great. You usually want to have skills. 5% chance to deal additional attacks when attacking a debuff enemy. Not that great. I guess I'm gonna use this just as filler. You see, it is odd. It is extremely odd to have this issue, that there are not enough supporters for what she wants to do, because this is a mixed stage. If it wasn't, it would be easier. So I'm gonna use her, even though I'm gonna have HP recovery. So yeah, as I mentioned, you don't need that Massacre Grenade. You can use her, but for the most part, you have enough HP recovery. So the good thing about using her is that I can control my HP at will, thanks to the active, and I can get that damage increase. So I just do this and voila. Look at that disgusting AoE. It's just absurd. Oh yeah. So one more time, I'm gonna use this. Remember to wait. And kaput. They are gone. All of them. Yeah, this skill is disgusting. Planting Bait is my favorite now. For Shizuru. I mean, Rose Rondo is still pretty competent, I won't deny that. But Planting Bait, the AoE is just disgusting. I don't even need to ulti for when using Planting Bait. Blue gives me an attack buff? Is that the case? Honestly, that's kind of weird. Okay, so the first thing that I'm gonna do is use obviously the supporter, and then after damage I do this, and I just deal damage, and look, gone, everything is gone. Yeah, blue is really busted, and I'm really glad, because before blue was unusable. It was just not there. So that's one thing you can do. If you have the 4th slot, you can equip Sprout Garden, you can equip Whip Grip, you can equip Chasing Strike. I do not recommend, because you're gonna have Planting Bait, and this is also a speed reduction, and it's the same amount, but this one gives you Seed Bomb, and that's better. You can go Sprout Garden, Whip Grip, or maybe the Taimanin Art if you have the 4th slot. Now, let's do something. We want to have Planting Bait, no debate, because we need the damage increase. But let's say that we need healing for some reason. You would put Sprout Garden instead of Plant Wall, because Plant Wall is going to force you to take hit. I am really tanky thanks to the level of my supporters and the awakening skills, so I can take hits, but not everyone is going to be the same. So in that case, just change plant wall. You still have 2 sources of seed bomb, and you have the healing, and you have extra healing thanks to the other roses that you're gonna drop with this. So yeah, that would be the other way you can use blue. I wouldn't recommend. Well, maybe we. Yeah, let's test it. I'm gonna test it just cause, but I'm not confident. I just wanna see how good is the speed increase on planting bathe, which I don't think it's good. I think slow is very good. Why? Because the enemies don't move when they don't have super armor, so you want to deal as many hits as possible on the same place. Let's see. No, the speed increases for me, I guess. Well, I don't have a keen eye, as you know, so I don't notice a speed increase on the roses. But the ability to grab the enemies and put them in front of your planting bait is also pretty good. Just be sure not to get your skill interrupted, just like mine. What? No! You evildoers! Okay, almost done. Yeah, you definitely want that speed increase. No, not the speed increase, that damage from planting bait is absurd. Hey, come on. There. Yeah, hits and hits. Very, very good. Let's see. Another attack. I just do this and this, and that should be able to deal with everyone. Or most of them. Okay, nice. Okay. And I do ultimate. Do I need? Yeah, let's do ultimate. Just to eliminate everything. So yeah, you don't need the seed bombs. I mean, to abuse the seed bombs. You can do it, and it's preferable, especially on teams with multiple characters. If you go solo, you can do what I just did, but for the most part, plant wall, whip shot, planting bait, so that you buff. If your team has enough healing coming from both supporters or skills by themselves, go with these 3. If they don't, you have to use a Sprout Garden. Now, let's go with red. Obviously, red is going to work. Red is one of the best colors, or has been one of the best colors for Shizuru for the longest time. Well, it was the best. So, one important thing. With Shizuru, under most situations, you want to go with balanced supporters, those that give you both damage increase and damage reduction. Because she is squishy. Even though she has healing, she is squishy. So be sure to use this kind of supporters, especially when you don't have your awakenings max out. And one of the best options, F2P, is gonna be Gal Lilium. Gal Lilium is pretty competent, so be sure to use her. Besides, she debuffs the enemy, so she can activate it. Now, for this, we're gonna use Rose Rondo. And here's the thing. Red has a ton of good skills. Basically, everything but the skills that are for other colors and the launcher are usable on red. So you can do any kind of combination that you want with her. You can go with Whip Shot, yes. Which Whip Shot is going to give you a 20% damage reduction. No, 20% damage increase. Oh, but Rose Rondo also does that. but whip shot is also going to deal decent damage. The animation is not that long. You can time it so that you start with one and then you do the other when the duration is about to end, because these debuffs are going to basically restart the duration. They do not stack, they overlap. Okay. Whip grip is also pretty useful. If your team needs survivability, you have to choose. Do you care about the seed bomb? Then go without whip grip and put Sprout Garden. You don't care about that one, and you prefer to go with these two damage increase. Damage increase and a healing. Do these 3 skills. Plant Wall reduces damage taken. I wouldn't use it. If you're not going to try to abuse Seed Bomb. We are gonna test it, but let's go with this one. This is the classic that most people are gonna use. And one thing to take into consideration: this weapon is going to increase the damage of the characters within Rose Rondo, and it also reduces the critical resistance of the enemy when hit by Rose Rondo. It's only 5 seconds, but it is disgustingly good. Yeah, honestly, the duration should be extended at this point, but it was released at a different time. So we do. Let me just check the command. Yeah, hold the bait. That's why. So as you can see, this one is actually very powerful. Blue is also powerful, and it does have the same disadvantage as green, that the duration is long for it to deal all its damage. But since it has the critical damage increase, it's going to deal devastating damage, breaking the super armor, and being able to kind of stun lock the enemy. I just do this and voila. Basically, we use the skills for damage rather than doing the right combo. Because since they have oh, come on. Since they have the damage reduction, the damage deal is gonna be devastating. Oh. Why? It's so silly that I don't do this properly. Okay. So I start by doing this, then I do this, and lastly I do this. That's the right combo. And just how about this? Done. So it is as good as it was before. The thing is now that Red has a stiff competition. Let's see, I'm just going to do this, and I do this, and I do this. And with that I destroy the mobs, but the sub-bosses are still alive. Let's see. Come on, like this. Oh! Okay, I'll use it. Yeah, I tried to do the combo properly, but since they were attacking and Shizuru does get interrupted, a little bit less now. Thanks to the roses, she can get the super armor that she lacks, which is nice, but it's not the most consistent thing in the world. So now, as I mentioned, these 4 skills are what you're gonna use in most situations on red. But let's do something different. Let's drop Whip Shot. While it is extremely good, since it has the same debuff, its utility gets diminished just by virtue of using Rose Rondo. So I can use instead Chasing Strike or no, Chasing Strike. Let's go with Chasing Strike. Wait a moment. It has the same command as this one. You don't want to use Chasing Strike in most situations, because the 30% damage increase is bigger, way bigger than this 15. It's a shame. Chasing Strike is just something that they should have changed to have a more unique identity in this. It's not a bad skill, but it has stiff competition and there's little reasons to use this other than PvP. Ah, God. Well, in that case, Plant Wall? I can do Plant Wall just to abuse the... How can I say it? I'm going to heal thanks to the roses. I'm just gonna show you how competent the roses are. Because thanks to them I'm gonna heal and I'm gonna have the... What's the name? The damage... No, the healing. I'm gonna have the healing. I'm gonna have the buffs. I'm gonna have the defense reduction for the enemy. It's a whole package. Just that. And I do this and done. The mobs are gone. Up. No. Oh, really? Oh, excellent. Oh, when did I use it? Did I use it before? I'll have to wait for my cooldowns. Nice. Yeah, there we go. And Rondo. And yeah, I'm not even using the active of the supporter. And one important thing is that Whip Grip with Wall Plan is an excellent combo because you put the enemy in front of you and if they are melee, it's very likely that they hit you. And as you can see, I have no problems with my HP. Well, that's thanks to the 2 balance supporters and my awakening skills. But there's also the roses to take into consideration. Depending on the strength of your character and the stage that you're tackling, you may need Sprout Garden. Let me just take this. Wall. The super armor. We take this and we do this. And we're done. Let's just eliminate Ingrid very quickly. So yeah, what I just showed you, you can do, sure, if you do have the balance supporters. Or you have great awakening skills. If you don't, you're not gonna do it. You're not gonna want to try this without Sprout Garden. You need a Sprout Garden otherwise, because you are gonna need the healing. As I mentioned, Shizuru is very delicate for the most part. So yeah. So very quickly, by the way, about the triple color mixed colors. So this. You can go mix, yes, you can. Especially with this build, and you can put this one on the 4 slot. This one you cannot use. This one you can, but what would be a mixed build? Let me show you. So Whip Shot, Sprout Garden, and Plant Wall. So which is the best color for Whip Shot? I would say red on the main. And which are the best effect for these two? Reduce the damage of the enemy, reduce the speed, increase the effect that reduces the speed by 50%. I would say blue, mixture of red and blue. So for blue we have this, and we have the one that I said that it's not as easy. Well, I just used the boss killer. And on red, what can I equip? Since this stage has multiple enemies and I'm gonna have healing, I can use Fuyutsuki. instead of going with a balanced supporter. I can rely on the extra HP just for that. So let's do the build very quickly. What's the issue? This has decent utility and maybe you can use it on a team with multiple characters, but solo, you don't have the damage. I mean, you do and you don't at the same time. Because you have a defense reduction. And you have a ton of multi-hits, as you can see. You have the seed bombs. There's things, yes. You can just ulti spam. But well, I guess it has the damage thanks to the roses. I mean, I expect it to take more time, but it also has good AoEs. So that's a thing. Let's see. Yeah, this is surprisingly strong. Usually, mixed builds don't deal that much damage by comparison because they don't have the triple color skill. But thanks to the disgusting defense reduction, thanks to the buffs given by the roses, thanks to all of those, this is just pretty competent. And you have the ability to ulti spam, which could be enhanced if you had what's the name? Damage increase? No, the basic enhancer. But I don't want to use the basic enhancer. Let's clear the waves of enemies. And done, basically. Yeah, this is amazing for a mixed build. Not everyone is able to do that much damage. Even when they have these kind of supporters, they usually kind of flop. They do the role, but they don't deal with the enemies as fast as Shizuru. I am surprised by what she does. So, as usual, let's check what weapons she has and what you can do with the weapons. First of all, let's just limit this to Shizuru. So, Shizuru is special-ish. She has this. An anti-trade weapon of 30%? I'm not sure what the devs were thinking. Usually this is 40% going to 80. This is 30 going to 60? Anti-machine, I mean, you can use it, it's there, but it is really unfortunate. Because it's not as good as other weapons. Still usable. Then we have this one. This is anti-human, going from 40% to 80%. Pretty good for VR, you can use it, no problems. Then we have her pack weapon. Increases damage. No. Is this the pack weapon? Wait a moment. Is this the increased damage against grog? No, this is the mileage. Which is the pack weapon, guys? Which is the pack weapon? Wait a moment. I gotta see that. Over here, character. Shizuru. No way! No way! It's a Christmas one! That explains a lot of things. That explains why this weapon is not given on the tickets. God, is that awful, because it is an excellent weapon. That's bad, guys. That's really, really bad. They shouldn't have done that. They shouldn't. Well, let's go back to the weapon. So, anyways, so we have the mileage weapon, which is not that great. It is there, but not that busted. We have Frozen Valkyrie. Frozen Valkyrie is not the greatest, but it has some niches, especially on solo content. So, when particles are fully charged, damage is increased by 28%. Let's say 58 for 8 seconds. not great, but at least it has an active, which means you can constantly spam the active so that you abuse the effect. It's not that bad. And the active freezes the enemy, which means you can time it properly to use your pure color skill, preferably Rose Rondo. That's gonna be the one that deals the most damage, because it deals all the damage in one hit compared to the other ones that deal it on various hits. And you take advantage of the freezing, doubling damage. So, yeah. Even so, pretty niche weapon. It used to be usable by the time she released. Kind of like Kirin for Rinko. The PvP weapons, you know them. The Momochi weapon. Would I recommend using the Momochi weapon with her? I mean, you can, certainly, for the supportive capabilities. She is already a supporter, and she can enable another role by increasing your damage. Since the effect is different, you can stack it with other effects on red, which is nice. Let's see, 7 seconds. Yeah, definitely you can use this one. Would I recommend doing it? Well, if you have it, I guess. Honestly, I cannot test it myself because mine is, if I have Cyclops, it's level S1, S2, and to test it properly, I would need all the copies. But anyways, it will increase your damage even further. And Shizuru does have a good amount of multi-hit, so it's definitely worth using. The pack weapon. Why did they make this a pack weapon? They shouldn't. So, this is an amazing weapon. It's an anti-demon weapon that gives you 30% damage increase and damage reduction. It is probably one of the only 2 weapons in packs that is actually worth using Demonite on it, because the effect is just absurdly strong. Summons a Christmas tree that fights for you for 10 seconds, and the active is different. It summons Christmatron, my favorite Christmatron. Yep. I wonder one thing. 49566. Let's do something very quick, because over here I have this and this. Oof! No! Even so, regardless of the trashy stats, it's still worth it, and even still worth it to use Demonite and Nano Machines because of the effect. The effect is just that strong. But honestly, they butchered that weapon. God. By making it a pack weapon and such. Shame. Nameless Princess is the damage increase against super armor weapon, which is usable for beginners who roll unlimited banners, but not the greatest. The Eye of Dawn is still pretty good, still pretty viable. Just for you to know, people on Total War are still using this weapon, so yeah, it's definitely worth it. Though the new weapon is also pretty good. We have the snake weapon. The snake weapon, I don't think it is good enough. The combos for Shizuru are kind of long, but you could use it for the ulti spam weapon due to the amount of multi-hit. The ulti spam build, yeah. Goddess of Love. Let's check Goddess of Love. Is this weapon busted? The number of roses dropped by seed bombs doubles, and each time a rose is collected, restores 2% up to 4% of an ally's total HP. So, you don't need to use a Sprout Garden. You can use it, especially if you have the force slot, but you don't need the healing anymore because you heal enough. The roses already heal, and now this heals even further. Strong. Not to mention the doubling effect is strong by itself, and just by having one weapon you have that effect. When using skills, decrease enemies' damage by 7% up to 14% for 10 seconds, stacks up to 3 times. Is that important? Usually, damage reduction is not the effect that you want. But why is this important? Most players don't have enough HP or awakening skills or damage reduction. So another way to mitigate damage is to debuff the enemy. And you want to use this for the healing and the buffing, but at the same time it's protecting your whole team. Unfortunately, this is a debuff, and Edwin doesn't how can I say it? He eliminates debuffs pretty quickly, which is really bad. But this effect is really good. In everything else in BR, this is going to be extremely useful. In Total War, this is also extremely useful, just for the healing and the plethora of buff that this is going to give. But comparing it to the Eye of Dawn, which gives a guaranteed attack buff, and a hefty one at that, just for being on the AoE of this attack, I would say that this is not like discarded just by having the other weapon. It is a different alternative with different benefits. That's what it is, and I like that. It's good that it doesn't replace it. It enables a different role and different things that you might want, but you don't need to get it right away if you already have this. So, should you get Shizuru or should you not? Well, I have already said that this character is pretty good by itself. Previously she was nice, but her role had a ton of competition, and she still has competition. For example, while she has a 20% and a 30% damage reduction, well, the damage defense reduction, Tokiko also has that, if not more, because she has Mechanical Dart, which is an excellent weapon. She has Blast, she has Clairvoyance. She's gonna shred the enemy's defense, just like her. But now she also has healing. Healing on the roses, and also attacks buffs, and also defense up, and also super armor. It has just a ton of effects. And who are going to take advantage of that? Particularly characters like who can take advantage of Kana. And which are those? Lina and Spinel. Lina and Spinel are characters who have 3 skills that give attack buffs on blue builds. There's also Melt. I'm just gonna equip Melt over here. Melt is gonna be for red teams. Where is Melt? Do I see Melt? Here she is. Not for red teams, for red builds. And the thing is that I don't know if there's actually any character that has 3 attack buffs on the red build. That's the thing. There are competent red builds, but it's not like Kana on blue with those 2 characters. Another thing that you want to take advantage of with Shizuru is her dancer Shizuru supporter. This gets a ton of benefit thanks to the fact that the leader skill is going to buff the party, because now her buffs are gonna last even longer. So yeah, there's a ton of people in Total War using this supporter because it's just that effective. It maximizes your damage, especially with the Spinel/Lina combo that I mentioned. So, should you get this character? Yes, you should, but you shouldn't get it right away. I mean, you can, I won't deny that. She is proficient, but she's squishy. If you did, you would need extremely aggressive supporters, particularly for blue, because that would be the easiest way to play with her. You can also do it on red, but usually you have your Homura, which increases the damage you take, and she's already squishy. So yeah, I don't recommend that you get this right away, but do get it when you start to build teams, because this is one of the best supporters right now on the game for teams. There's a ton of supporters. There's different options that you have, but she provides healing and buffs as well as debuffs depending on how you build heal. You go with red, she's gonna debuff. You go with blue, she's gonna buff and heal. So it's up to you guys, but be sure to get her once you're ready to start with VR, once you're ready to go to Total War, once you're ready to do team battles. Because for solo content, she can, but she's not particularly OP, like maybe Emily. Even so, she's strong. So, what do you think about her, guys? I have been talking a lot about her and how useful she is, and she definitely is pretty good. And no matter what weapon you have, she's gonna be great. Even if you don't have the renewal weapon or the limited weapon, she's pretty useful just cause. Just go red and blue and that's it. So, anyways, that's all for today, and I'll be seeing you next time. Bye!